A lot of times people will get sick after they've gone through a stressful experience. Like, I'm sure that most of you know Christopher Reeves. Well, Christopher Reeves broke his neck, and for several years his wife took care of him. And shortly after he passed away, what happened to her? She had cancer. She had cancer because the most important organ in her body was being compromised, and that was her liver. Key detoxifying organs, for those of you that have your notes there in front of you, and for those of you who don't have notes, we have them available here for you. The key organ in the whole body is your colon. Now, not to be silly, but when you wake up in the morning, within the first half hour or so, guess what you should be doing? You should be having a bowel movement. And if you don't have a bowel movement on a regular, consistent basis, your body is in a state of toxicity. You do not want to have toxicity. There's something called transient time. Now, transient time is not the time that it takes a train to go from Washington, D.C. all the way over to San Francisco. Transit time is the time you eat some food and it goes into this part and it comes out the other end. In America, the average transit time is 96 hours. That's a long time for that food to be going through your body. So constipation is really a huge issue. Now, the easiest way to eliminate constipation is to drink more water. It's that simple. If you just started drinking more water, and I encourage our patients to drink at least a quart of water every day. Start adding more vegetables to your life. More vegetables. I'm not a real big promoter of fruit, and you'll find out why in a bit, but fruit does cause left neck and shoulder blade pain, especially. Now I'm going to save a lot of you a lot of misery. If you have chronic left neck and shoulder blade pain, eliminate bananas, raisins, and grapes from your life, and I'll guarantee you, in less than a 2-week time period, your chronic left neck pain will go away. And I'll tell you something else that causes chronic left neck pain, is yogurt. Yogurt has more sugar in it than ice cream. So if you eat bananas and yogurt, I'll guarantee you your neck will hurt, and it'll continue to hurt. I had one lady whose neck hurt for 30 years before she learned about bananas and yogurt. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Dr. Bob, where do I get my calcium from? When was the last time you saw a cow eating cottage cheese, milk, or ice cream? They don't. What do they eat? Hay grass and alfalfa. Now I'm not telling you to eat hay grass and alfalfa, but add some sesame seeds to your life. Add some almonds to your life. Eat some greens. Greens will help your body function properly. A sluggish colon. One of the leading causes of a sluggish colon, besides not enough water and vegetables, is a low thyroid gland. Now, you can become toxic because your thyroid gland is not functioning optimally. And a very common body signal is cold hands and cold feet, thin hair, wide-spaced teeth. So it's thin hair, wide-spaced teeth, or if you wake up in the morning with a headache that goes away as the day goes on, you could have a low thyroid gland. So one of the books I wrote was Dr. Bob's Douglas Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. I have a chapter on thyroid function. I would encourage you to get the book just to learn more about the thyroid gland. A key organ for optimal liver function is your liver. This is an oil filter. The oil filter in the car is analogous what the
liver
oil filter is in your body. Your liver is right here in your body, just like the oil filter. So the oil filter, gentlemen, you know, purifies all the oils that goes through, and you need to change your oil filter, by the way. Ladies, if you don't know, you don't need to change it, but somebody in your family needs to change this oil filter every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. This liver, this oil filter in your body is critical. I'll say that again. It's critical for long-term health. Why? Because if your liver is congested, there are cells in your liver called Kupffer cells. Now, when I was going to college, you know, sometimes I still have nightmares of going to college with all the different tests, but there's cells in your liver called Kupffer cells that eat bacteria, virus, and cancer. So you want your liver to be functioning optimally. How do you know if you have a plugged up liver? Varicose veins, spider veins, hemorrhoids are all a sign of a congested liver. Psoriasis, any skin problem is a body signal that your liver may in fact be congested. Now, there's something else. There are little red bumps for a female that are located on your breast or on your abdomen. They're called cherry hemangiomas. These are very, very serious. There's a lot of ladies come into my practice and they have these little red bumps on their body and they're like, Dr. Bob, what is causing this? It's usually from too much estrogen in your body. If you're a female and you have tender breasts and a heavy menstrual flow, more than likely you have a congested liver. If you have a congested liver, your body is not going to function at 100%. And if your body's not functioning at 100%, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to have a greater chance to get cancer. You don't want that. Do you have psoriasis? People who have psoriasis actually have congested, plugged up livers. So I'm going to share something with you that's really, really important. And it's what I fondly call Dr. Bob's ABCs. So, wherever you're at, Crocker Park, Northern Ohio, watch me via the internet anywhere in the world right now, I'm going to go down in history with a Nobel Prize because of Dr. Bob's ABCs. All of you who can hear me right now, you need to, it all started in the garden. I all want you to start eating at least a half a red apple every day. I know some of you are thinking, why a half, Dr. Bob? Because a whole apple has 22 grams of carbs. So I want you to eat at least a half an apple every day. Do you know you can lower your cholesterol 13% just by eating this half an apple every day? You know what's most significant about that apple? It has something in it called malic acid. Malic acid helps thin your bile. Now, I always love to do this. I don't know if everybody knows what this is, but this happens to be a beet. Are you ready for this? I've heard on the radio, Northern Ohio, Magic 105.7, they've advertised Lipitor. And Lipitor says that they can lower your cholesterol 39%. Well, guess what? You can eliminate all the bad effects from Lipitor just by eating at least a third cup of beets every day. You can lower your cholesterol 40% by eating beets. Now, you think, Dr. Bob, I hate beets. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, would you rather use Mevacor, Zocor, Prevacor, or Lipitor and get liver disease and muscle pain and optic strokes or glaucoma, or would you rather eat beets? You know, beets have one side effect. You know what that is? You poop red. One thing about pooping red, you know what your transient time is. So you can lower your cholesterol 40%. So if you add Dr. Bob's apple 13%, beets 40%, you can lower your cholesterol over 50% just by eating apples and beets. You think that's a good idea to say yes?
Yes.
Yes. I'm just trying to help. Finally, this is the C. These are carrots. Dr. Bob's ABCs. Apple, a red apple. Do you want to know why a red apple? When I was doing my studies in Ayurvedic medicine, I read a book, and this is an awesome book, and I'd encourage all of you right now to get this book. It's called The Answer to Cancer by Dr. Sharma. In the book, they talked about green apples. And I'm not against green apples, but green apples, Granny Smiths, can stagnate your digestion. So I would encourage you to red apple, half a red apple every day. What do you do with the other half? You give it to your spouse, you put some wrap on it, and you eat it the next day. Let's get back to these carrots. I know that somebody, somewhere, has little floaters in front of their eyes. How about in my group in front of me? Any of you have little floaters in front of your eyes? Oh my gosh, look at the crowd raise their hands. You know what they're called? This is a test question, by the way. We're going to give a test afterwards, and if anybody gets 100%, this young lady from the Crocker Park Management Group is going to give you $100. So pay attention. They're called vitreous floaters. They're little floaters in front of your eyes. Now watch. Your liver, which is this oil filter in your body, is located right here. Now the liver is the storehouse. It's the storehouse for some fat-soluble vitamins. The fat-soluble vitamins are called, you like this, don't you? Vitamin A, D, E, and K. Test question, what are the fat-soluble vitamins in the liver? Vitamins A, D, E, and K. Now, later on when somebody says, how'd you like the health fair? Say, I don't know how I like the health fair, but I can tell you one thing, that fat-soluble vitamins in the liver are vitamins A, D, E, and K. You can say, now why is that important? Because if you have a really toxic body, your liver runs out of vitamin A. So guess where it gets A from? You know the old cliche, rob Peter to pay Paul? Well, your liver